So the playoffs are here. We're already in the thick of it. Some teams have already been eliminated, and the path to the Super Bowl has just gotten a lot more interesting. We're getting another Matthew Stafford and Jared Goff rematch that nobody asked for. The Texans beating the Chargers makes you question reality, and the Commanders beating Tampa Bay proves that we live in a simulation. Jordan Love does have similar mechanics to Aaron Rodgers, but the Eagles game proves that he's not him. I ended up making a playoff prediction video, but I took it down because the audio was so bad and I just wasn't super happy with the project. If you didn't notice, I have a new mic, so hopefully it works out. I spent like 2 days trying to dial this in. I'm like bashing my head up against the wall, but hopefully it works out. I hope you guys like it. But I'm going to tell you this, my playoff bracket was busted big time. Some of these teams really surprised me. I keep saying this, but any given Sunday. This video isn't actually about the playoffs though. I'm going to talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers. They lost to the Ravens, and it should come as no surprise, but the score doesn't tell the whole story. There's a lot that can factor into it, the types of plays that were run, how you got the yards. I've said this before, you could throw 300 yards and 2 touchdowns and still get shut out. Why? Well, cool, you scored twice, but the other team scored 4. You can drive the ball all the way down the field, but then you can't score the touchdown. Don't wait till garbage time to get your shit together and score. I'm not dropping names. Caleb Williams. I'm not trying to talk about the Bears, but what I'm about to say has a lot to do with the Mike Tomlin situation. If you don't know, a lot of fans are asking that Mike Tomlin be fired after they lost the wild card game. First of all, the Ravens are a very good football team, and I wasn't expecting the Steelers to beat them, but I think there's a lot of misplaced hate here, the whole Mike Tomlin situation. George McCaskey called out the players in a press conference, and guess what? I love that shit. Hell yeah. Good on you, George. You know, the problem in Chicago is the players want to just point the finger at everybody else. Well, it's this coach, it's that coach, it's this strategy, it's that strategy, and it's absolute garbage. I've said this before in my videos. At some point, the players have to take responsibility. The coaches coach, the players play. We have to stop thinking that it's some magical machine that if you do this, it's all gonna work. Wrong. George has every right to defend himself. With the Chicago Bears, this is how the structure works. You have the chairman, you have the president, then you have the GM, the head coach, the assistant coaches, and the players. It's that simple. The players need to play. How does this relate to Pittsburgh? Everyone wants to point the finger at Mike Tomlin. They all just want to blame him. It's his fault. Instead, why don't we take a closer look? The Steelers have dropped the last 4 games before the wild card round. The game against the Eagles, they lost 13-27. Russell Wilson didn't play well, and they had no running game. The defense let Jalen Hurts throw 290 yards on them, and Saquon Barkley had a good game himself. Lost the game to the Baltimore Ravens 7-34. Russell Wilson did have a better day, but they only scored in the second and third quarter. The Baltimore Ravens played 4 quarters of football. Here's another example. Like, they couldn't beat them during the regular season. Did you really think they were going to beat them in the playoffs? I did have Baltimore Ravens beating the Pittsburgh Steelers in my bracket. They lost a game to the Kansas City Chiefs 10-29. Patrick Mahomes threw for 320 yards, 3 touchdowns. Russell Wilson ended up throwing a pick. They did run the ball a little better, but they only scored a touchdown in the second quarter and a field goal in the third. The Kansas City Chiefs played 4 quarters of football. They dropped a game to the Bengals 17-19. Closer game, but Joe Burrow showed up to play. Russell Wilson didn't have the best day, but there was also no running game. Again, the Pittsburgh Steelers only scored in the second and fourth quarter. You already know what I'm going to say. The Bengals played 4 quarters of football. The point that I am trying to make is that the players have to do their part. Where's all that Russ magic when he took over the starting job at the end of October? The Steelers laid an egg. And if you were to ask me, I don't think it's a Mike Tomlin issue. I think it's a player issue. The players are the ones on the field running the play. They're professional football players. Why does it magically take some superhero coach to make everything okay? It's nonsense. It's the players. That's what makes it work. You could have a good coach and have a good offensive scheme, and then the players can't do their job, have their heads in their asses, and then the coach gets fired and everybody wants to blame the coach. It's the coach's fault. I remember when Matt Nagy went 8-8, Mike Tomlin did the same thing. They crucified Matt Nagy and crowned Mike Tomlin. This is a hypocrisy in the NFL runs rampant. But look, guys, that's going to do it for this video. If you liked it, hit the thumbs up for me. Talk shit down in the comments. Until the next one, I'm out of here.